Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Bedouin Trade. Today we have an interview with a top crypto analyst who called the bearish move way before anyone else, Coach K. Welcome to my channel, my friend.
Thanks for having me, brother. How's everything going with you guys today?
Everything is good. Crazy couple of weeks we had with FTX, Alameda, Genesis, Fed today, SBF interviews. Crazy.
Oh, SBF interviews. How fun those are. How ridiculous.
He only had 100K, yeah?
Yeah. And I only pee once a day, even when I'm drinking beer, right? Like, come on. Let's be honest here. Everyone who's been in crypto for a while knows if you're not an OG, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, it's pretty obvious what's actually going on there. So, you know, you have to take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But
Nah, 100%. Coach,
but
you were one of the first to call the bearish market. You turned bearish early on. You're not bearish in general, just you turned bearish in this market. Can you show us, if you want to share your screen, can you show us what made you turn bearish?
Oh yeah, man. Oh man, my charts are a little busy for someone who hasn't seen them. So just we're gonna go with the past. Let me present my screen right here. So share screen. Where's the window? Is it this one? Yes, it is. Okay. I got a lot of screens, so bear with me.
That's all good. Oh
All right, so it looks like there's a lot going on. It's more because of me mapping out the past. So you're going to kind of see the past, the present, the future. I'm going to kind of zoom in on certain things that I was looking at and potentials. So, you know, actually, I could probably turn off a lot of this stuff, just add it in later, just to make things a little bit less busy. And then all the drawings, don't really pay attention to them. This is just the first time I'll kind of break down what happened in what I was looking at way back in April, May, when I was getting extremely bearish and tired. And really, I was feeling about, I'm in one of those traders that not just trader, not just investor. I'm an advisor. I help a lot of projects figure out how they should be doing their stuff and the way they should be doing their things. So I have like a little bit of a more macro view on where the industry's at from like multiple perspectives. As a trader, what I'm seeing on a chart. As a person who's being highly in demand, how tired am I? If I'm tired, how tired is everybody else? Because if I'm tired, then that means all the marketers are tired, all the, you know, influencers are tired, everyone else is tired. So when that comes, it's generally a part of time where you're getting toppy because people are getting tired. It's been so much go, and eventually we're going to come down. So I saw this happening with a head and shoulders pattern here, way back for the first time. You know, way back in April, May, I saw it coming. I was saying, yeah, we're probably going to come up. We did. And then we turned bearish for quite some time. I was hated on for saying 42 was the first level that we could come down to, and we did. So then we go and advance further, and we start looking at volume. You can't really see it too much. But as we went up, this is not a really good representation. But if we actually took all the exchanges together, you would see that volume was increasing at exponential rates. And then all of a sudden, volumes didn't really come back until we hit this level down here around 30K. That was like our make or break moment. So when it came here, I saw some similar things happening again. And right around Christmas, I drew this level right here. So I'm going to zoom in. And this is, I've already was starting to get bearish. And actually, if I turn the Ichimoku on, as much as you may or may not understand, this is a really good tool, even though it makes things a little bit busy. Within my own chart right now, when I look in the future, you'll see it's not so bad. But what I was looking at is I'm starting to look in these levels, right? And we started to have this bearish crossing kind of happening around here. So as you can see, when we're going up in the bull market, our red level, which is our Kijin, it's a level of equilibrium. The price that the market likes to come back to, whether it's back from up or back from the down, it always goes back to this 50% retrace level. So when we're bullish, we're generally staying above that level. We come close to it sometimes, but we generally keep going higher. And then that's how I knew we would likely come down to that level, which is why that arrow is there. And then also when we broke out of that, when I knew we'd come back higher. So this is something that I've learned over time, and it takes a lot of practice, and it's all pattern recognition being a good trader. It's not how I feel, what I want to happen. I look at this market in a very you know, in a very holistic way of like, how do I feel? How do my friends feel in terms of like potential, like how tired are they? Are they overworked? Are they feeling burnt out? And then we also look at like how many projects are there? Are there way too many projects? So I was taking a lot of information in, and then also going from past cycles that I've been in and knowing like, first of all, when I told my group, I think it was on the BLX, I showed them, I told them we're going to go, we had this McDonald's pattern. You go on Twitter and you can see, I drew this McDonald's pattern. I told everyone that's what comes next is pain. And everyone said, no way. And look, I mean, I drew this level and said we'd likely break down. And I also drew this level way back and said we'd break down. Because again, this red level is a Kijinsen. We followed down. We were likely to bearish retest. Right now, we're actually, we're getting above this level. And then we broke down, and now we're coming back to that level equilibrium. So I do think we're going to see a little bit of a push higher, which is why this morning I said I'm going long Bitcoin.
Where do you see it? Where do you see it? I saw the tweet that you said that we might be going up, so you're going to go a little bit long for a little bit. Where do you see it? Where do you see it reaching?
Let me show you guys a cheat code into the cryptos ecosystem, something that people don't believe me until they actually try it for themselves. And I mean, you have all these traders telling you all these things and all these strategies, and there's lots of lines on their charts. And I mean, for you guys even watching, some of you not traders are like, man, this guy's got a really busy chart. It's only because I'm using my main chart so I can show you like how I think about it. And there's a history so you can know that I'm not changing things to benefit myself, so you can trust me. I just let the chart do the talking, right? Like everyone else is telling you why they're so great. I'm like, cool, you know what? You put your charts against mine and let's see who wins. Good traders don't give a shit about anyone else's trades. They don't care that this guy went long or not. Good traders know their own strategy. So one really simple thing I've learned over time is when you have this chart pattern where you have a 3 inside up, what that means, it's just a basic 3 candle pattern where the second candle does not go all the way above the first, right? So it gets all the way into there. Then it's a continuation and it closes the third candle above the first mother candle. It can look in many different ways, but in general, you want to be halfway up the first candle, and then the second candle has to close above this top right here. And on the way down, it's the exact same. When we see this chart pattern on a daily on Bitcoin, let me show you guys some past history so you can understand why I trade this pattern and why I'm so I make these types of decisions. So we can go all the way back to here. So it doesn't happen every day. It's a daily candlestick. So it's 1 candle per day. It's a lot slower and also a lot more efficient and makes you more money.
Yeah, you have to go longer time frame. Yep.
So here's another example of one, but on the other way. So here we have a run into resistance right here. We have our nice bullish candle. Then we follow by an inside candle that closed almost halfway. And the third candle closes down here. So I shorted there. Once I saw that we were kind of in this range and going up, I exited around just a bit above that candle, right? So I made a little bit on that one, not crazy, but I don't care. It's not about making crazy gains, it's about making gains over time. Here's another example of a 3 inside down off of resistance, the exact same one within a week or two where you could have made 2 quick, easy trades. Here you have the down candle right here. You're going to enter on that candle, right? You're going to put your stop somewhere up here, and now you're just going to ride it down. When you see this big wick, and you saw that it bounced off of it, that's where you're going to close. You're going to close somewhere in this wick if you're watching it on the daily, or you're going to close right around here. So that's the second example. And I'm going to go through a lot of other examples of this happening so you can see that this is a hell of a good strategy.
It's a trend.
It's a simple strategy. Here, a great example right here. 3 inside up candlestick. Right as we started coming off of that bottom we had in September of 2021, and then we got to the end of our bullish movement, right? So that was at the end of that bearish movement from, May all the way down to September, October. Now we see bullish. This is where I said longer longs. Perfect timing, right? And then again, we saw this during that downtrend in June, the 3 inside down, a fake out, we call it, because it looked like it was breaking out. This is a fake out breakout, and then it broke down again. So these are all trades are entering, and when the daily candle closes, you're going to make anywhere between, if you close it late, 14 to 20%. And I mean, on Bitcoin, if you're doing that on a regular basis, you don't have to do it every week. you're 14 to 20%, you're 14 to 20%, you're 14 to 20%. And that's just Bitcoin, right? We're not talking about the whole entire market. And then here's another example, another great example, 3 inside down, enter over here, put your stop above the level, and you're going down. So this is a trade that I've used over and over and over again. This is why this morning I said it. This is why I knew that we're going down over here, because of the 3 inside down. Same thing here. I knew we were going up because the 3 inside up. And honestly,
so it repeats itself a lot of times.
We're looking like this is, I've showed you maybe 8 times since 2020. We're not talking, you're going to not have a trade a week. You're not trading every single day. And honestly, the one thing that I think is the biggest mistake for most people is they try to trade every day. They try to make money every day in the markets, not realizing there are bots that are faster and that they actually see what you're doing and trade against you. I mean, we know this about the exchanges, they trade against you, right? So knowing this information, if you think on a longer term perspective, you're going to make a lot better choices. But also, if you have a good strategy, you can start seeing that, okay, the cloud, the reason why I love the cloud is because if we're above the cloud, we're flying. We're like an airplane, right? So if I'm above the cloud, we're flying high, we're going higher. If I'm in the middle of the cloud, if I start breaking into the cloud, it starts coming neutrally bearish, bullish. You don't know. It's between. It's like turbulence in the sky. You're going, I don't know. So at that point, when I've seen we've had a huge bullish movement, and I see that, that's why I started getting bearish and thought we'd go to 42. And we went lower, obviously. But my first level was 42. We're in the 50s, and everyone thought that was impossible. I don't make my decisions based off how I feel. I always want Bitcoin to go up. I've held Bitcoin since 2013. I literally want Bitcoin to go up all the time. But I have to suspend my disbelief and actually go, what is actually the chart telling me? And the people who do this and don't use their emotion make the most money because they're not emotionally involved. They don't care about it going up. I don't give a fuck if it goes up or down. I'm going to trade it either way. And the only thing I care about from my investment perspective is I should be taking more profit. Because if you're seeing this start to happen here and potentially you're going to have a head and shoulders, that's where you should be taking a profit. That's why I made a video on the 27th of April saying, if you don't know why you should take profit, right now you should start taking profit. Take profit to take profit. I wasn't giving financial advice. I was saying you should be doing it. You should secure some of your capital. The worst mentality that crypto people have and traders and everyone is that it could go a little bit higher. I could lose some of those gains. But if it goes lower, you lose actual capital.
Everything.
So securing capital versus trying to get a little bit more out of it, the next 10% and then losing 40, which is what most people do. Most people know they should be selling, okay, coach is saying it's going to go up, but it might break down here. So you should be selling that whole week or 2 weeks right there. Then you don't. Then it does one of these big moves and you're like, oh, it'll come back. And then it goes down even more and you're like, oh, it'll come back. By that point, you've already lost a ton of your gains that you could have just bought back now. And with cheaper prices if you like the coin.
I think a lot of people got caught with Plan B's 100K or whatever, those stock to flow, and they got caught with it. And it was like as if it's going to happen no matter what. So
hopium. It's hopium.
Hopium.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if we look at stuff from a very like as if you're a child again, right? And you look at it, you go, wait, this doesn't make sense, right? And like everyone tries to make sense out of stuff. Everyone says, oh, but now it's this time it's different. They're having a super cycle. We're having this. And the whole time everyone was saying that, I was telling them, no, we're not in a super cycle. This is bullshit. It's 4-year cycles. Bitcoin does the same thing. People ask me, but you didn't know FTX and you didn't know Freeway and you didn't know BlockFi and Celsius and all these guys. I said, I didn't need to know. The chart showed me we were bearish. And when we go into a bear market, guess what? We go down and we don't need the excuses of what happens. TA actually teaches you that you should be bearish. So stay bearish until you have signs of bullishness.
Confirmation, yeah.
Confirmation. Okay. So now we go to...
Let me ask you that on that point. Just you mentioned FTX. If FTX didn't explode and Celsius and Luna, the whole Shazam, you know, the domino effect, do you think we would be at the level we're in now regardless?
I mean, it's no one knows this though, right? It's like if Elon Musk bought $100 million of crypto and posted it, could this have that? We don't know these things. The thing is, we look at the chart. The chart told us all the way back December. Okay, I was looking at it and I'm like, we're going lower, but Christmas, we're likely going to pump for Christmas right into this level, this beautiful level, which is going to turn into resistance and push it back down. So I literally drew this on my chart before it happened. I didn't know how high. I just thought it would run into that resistance and drop down. We dropped down. We dropped down more. We dropped down again. And then comes the hopium. But we came back up a little, we came back up 30-40%. Everyone gets excited, but it's all fake out. There's still a lot of things here that were telling me like we're not really bullish. Right here, we're running just over top. So our lagging span tells us what's happening in the future from the past. We want things to be above, but we're not bullish. We're neutral. We're in turbulence here. And we have to wait till we're above the cloud. So guess what? We're still not above the cloud. We're still not above the cloud. And the reason why I drew this circle here, and I was doing that way over here when I thought we'd come up to that exact level we did like 2 weeks after. Let's go back in history to where this happened before. Similar, it's almost the exact same thing. Bitcoin started turning into a boring asset in 2018, and I saw it drop then, and I was like, you know what? It's turning very boring, very similar here. We're likely going to drop, and we came up and we dropped. So will we get down to the bad ugly? The bad, probably. The ugly, I don't know. I don't think so, unless some other really big fallout from SBF and all this stuff causes someone to sell tons of Bitcoin. I don't see that happening. Same with ETH. I think ETH may or may not, but I do think there's going to be one more play. They're going to push it a bit higher, get everyone excited, and then they're going to drop it that last time to this level, which is a strong level from all the way back in the last bull market. So we're likely to see this level come back into play. And if we don't see that level come back into play,
around the 10K.
Yeah. Around 12, so we're looking around 12, between 12 and 14. There's some levels here we can see probably closer down to 12. And then we have the ugly zone, which would be anywhere between 10 and 8K, 8, 9K. I don't think we're getting there, but we have to plan for this because we don't know. Like
100%.
In technical analysis, is one thing people don't understand, and they need to understand is you are making educated guesses based off past patterns that you've seen. So you see something over and over again, and you start realizing this pattern is very similar to that pattern. And it's almost a similar time in the cycle. August, September, October, November. Look, we're in the same thing. July, August, September, October, November. So it's a similar thing. I also think right now, to be honest, we're likely going to have one more dip, and I will call the bottoms in. I already think the bottom is very close, to be honest. Based off prior cycles, within the next month, we should see the bottom.
I'm with you 100%. I even I had previously a couple of other analysts, and they called 9. I told my audience I don't believe we're going 8, 9K, or some people are calling 6. I told them I really don't believe it. It could happen. I think I'm with you. 12 to 14, it'll stay above 10. I'm with you. That's where I believe it's going to happen.
What's going to cause someone to sell that much Bitcoin? That's the question you have to ask yourself. What's going to cause how much Bitcoin would need to be sold, and who is selling it, right? Like all I'm seeing now on chain is people are starting to buy. OGs are starting to buy. I've been starting to buy. I bought my first 4 Bitcoin on the way down. This is the first time I bought Bitcoin at 16,300. I was like, that seems like a pretty good starting point to start dollar costing in. And I told everyone to do it too, that were my friends and my family. I don't tell my followers because they don't understand ask the right questions of like, how to do risk management. Like, how many people understand how to do it? And then, like, I saw a post by Lady of Crypto yesterday, and it made me laugh because she's like, here's my 42 post thing on risk management. And there's going to be all these numbers and all this math and all this shit. And I was like, risk management is dividing your risk by your stop loss. Like, this is a fucking simple math. Like, I have 10 grand. I want to risk 1%. I put $100 at risk. If I lose, it's like the casino. You lose your $100, and that's it. You stop out. What are you going to put in to the trade? You're going to divide your risk by your stop, and it tells you, let's say you need to put at 8%, you need to put $1,250 into that trade, and you're risking 100 of that. If you lose, you get $1,150 back. Right? So if you're doing it this way and you understand how to risk manage yourself, whether you have 5K or 100K doesn't make a difference. It all starts the same spot, and no one realizes that I did not start with money. My family didn't have lots of it. No one gave me anything. I earned everything myself. Worked as a teacher, got my TA down, made the connections in the crypto space with the people I thought were good people, not scamming, really want to develop it. And then just like learn risk management and go, okay, I want to invest in this. Cool. Invest in a project, 1 or 2% of your capital, not 80% of your capital. And like take calculated risk. if you're making a good trader, let me put in perspective some win rate perspectives for your guys. So let's say you have 100 trades in a month. To keep it simple, right? We have 100 trades. How many of you guys think, I'll look for the comments, how many of you guys think you need to win 60% of those trades to be a good trader? How many of the people watching right now think that? Comment in there.
All right, let's see. Guys, if you can answer. While we're waiting on that, I actually did the same thing as you did, but I didn't buy Bitcoin. I bought some mining machines, to be honest, because they're dirt cheap. They're dirt cheap at the moment. This guy here, he said 50 maybe.
Yeah. Good traders, the best traders in the world average 65, 66% of their trades hit. Now, people would say, well, that doesn't make sense. The guy I followed on Twitter or Instagram or wherever, he hits 82% of his trades. You do realize that his trades are hitting because he's taking profit at 0.5 or 1%. So literally it moves up a little bit. He's like, yeah, I won. You guys won too. But then you lose all your money anyways because the profit that you took was not enough to actually cover your fees even in a trade most of the time.
And the problem that I have with my follower, because we're in the majority of them are from the Middle East. A lot of traders from there. That's why I get a lot of Western traders to come on the show. A lot of them, they go, come join my course. I'll guarantee you 80% win rate. I was like, no way he's got, or a 90% win rate. I was like, man, just bullshit. The moment you tell me that, I call bullshit.
I agree. You can't win that often. And if you do, I want to see the proof. And I want to see if you're counting your whole trade, not just your first target. Saying, oh, yeah, we made our first target when you went from this little level to that level doesn't really count, in my opinion. You need to really trade through. So here's a good example. So R rate is your ratio of risk to reward, okay? So the R is 2.5. You want to always have, if you're risking $100, if I'm risking 100, I want to make at least 2.5 times that minimum, right? So let's do some basic math and you'll see what I'm talking about here. So let's say you win 40% of your time, right? So 40% of the time you win $250, right? Because that's what you're winning on a good trade. You're risking 100, you're making 2.5, right? So you're risking 250, right? And then the other 60 trades that you make in that month, you lose 100. So basic math would tell you what? If you guys go on a calculator right now and just do the math, you'll see why this is so important to understand risk reward, because 250 multiplied by 40 equals 10 grand, right? So we're at 10K in profit, right? We have to minus that by our 60 trades at $100. So we go 10,000, right? Minus 6,000. And in a month where you only hit 40% of your trades, you made $4,000 using $100 of risk. Now, if you lose $1,000 of risk, you add another zero. Use $1 million of risk, add another zero, another zero, another zero, another zero, right? But the whole point is understanding that little thing about risk management. And it's really simple. Like, the people trying to make it confusing are making it confusing because they don't understand it. And like, there's a lot of people on Twitter, and I watch them, and I'm like, you have no idea what you're doing, and everyone's following them. And
yeah, I see that, and they have hundreds of thousands of followers.
Do your own research because it's so easy to see. Like, man, I'll give you some examples of why I'm different than a lot of the other people on Twitter. So let's just go to my majors here. So we got ADA. It's in the weak buy zone. Do you know when I drew that weak buy zone? When we're way up here. When we're literally way up here. This is one level. Here's another level that we'll go into. Why? Because we've been in these levels before. If we don't bounce in this level, we're going down to the next level, which is really only down here. It's a strong buy. So 88 is in the 12 cent, 15, 16 cent. I'm going to start scaling in. But then we go to Atom. I drew Atom way, way back here when it was coming down. It hit the buy zone. And even if it's a bear market and you entered in anywhere in this buy zone, you're already even today still up 75% just by planning ahead. And you would have been up even more than that. But I'm not bullish on this yet. I'm still thinking that we're going to come down lower because the cloud is here. We're below the cloud.
Since you're looking at alts, I was going to leave that till the end. What alts are you looking at?
Generally, right now, if you're someone who has a lot of capital, so someone who's got money laying around, waiting for the bull market, I've got like 7-8 figures just waiting to be deployed, but I don't want to deploy too early. I'm starting to do it slowly. So Atom, I have a little bit of. Then I'm looking at Algo next. So we're looking layer ones. Why? Layer ones have gas. Layer ones basically have tax because of gas. Layer ones generally should make money. DOT, we saw, doesn't make shit right now. It's made like $800 in a day of transaction fees because DOT sucks to use as a user. My personal opinion, I don't enjoy using DOT because JS Wallet's shit. And there are other wallets, but I'm sick and tired of using new wallets. So unless DOT shows me something incredible, right now I'm not really super bullish on it.
I don't see much being built on it, to be honest, as well.
The whole idea of these auctions or whatever they did, the parachain auctions, that was stupid. That was not a good play because now everyone locked all their DOT and now their DOT's locked and they put it at $50 or $40 or $30 and now it's worth $5. So that was stupid. And then guess what? Those parachains launched and all of them pretty much have failed in terms of like token price going down. Yeah, so I feel like DOT just like they have amazing technology, but they have terrible marketing. Have you ever been to a DOT event? You would know their marketing sucks. They don't market well.
Look at Gavin Wood. Like he's this guy that was with Ethereum and built everything. He doesn't talk. He doesn't, like, you were the face of the company. You just go do some interviews, man. Do something.
Just lack of awareness about like how community is grown, right? And like I really look at that when I go to conferences. I see like what is the community like? What do people say about like? I'm not a big fan of Richard Hart, as everybody knows, because I think what he's created is an elaborate Ponzi scheme, which is going to pay people to go to
come on, hex and false. Don't get
me started. We all know this, but he built an army community. And guess what? In crypto, that matters more. ADA would not be the price it is still right now and would not have
for the army.
It doesn't without Charles Hoskinson. People fucking love him. Let's be real. And because they love him, they will support him no matter what, because some of them got in so cheap that even at 31 cents, they're like friggin' millionaires from that still. So they're happy. They don't care.
They won't sell. If you check, one of the things why I hold ADA and like I stake them, because 70% of all circulating supply is staked. Like 70%, the people will not sell. They hate selling. I look at these people. They do not want to sell.
Look at the projects that I've invested into that have launched during a bear market. Cornucopias, I'm an advisor to them. We're like at a fucking 10x right now in the bear market. And we launched in the bear market. And then you have World Mobile token, right? World Mobile has been absolutely freaking killing it in every way from a company perspective. But also on the other side, like they've done extremely well for the way the market's at right now. Like it's not below public sale price, I believe, still, which is a really good indication of someone. When you launch in the bear market, there's good and bad. The good is you get rid of people pretty quickly that don't want to be there, that don't believe in it. There's bad because no one's really buying. So you have like a yin and a yang. This is why I don't like projects launching in bear markets, to be honest. But Algorand is one to keep your eyes on. No one's really built on it yet. There's a lot of money in there.
They've built, I know El Salvador built their wallet on it, and they've done some FIFA partnership. But yeah, their DeFi and their other stuff, they don't. They haven't.
Look at their chart. Look at their chart. It's pretty much, it's very raw and fresh, right? It's got a lot of their tokens distributed, which is something else I'm looking at. And when I'm looking at prior projects, what you should be looking for right now to invest is things like, do they have token distribution still? Or all the tokens that are circulating out? Did the team get their tokens? Did they not? Look at all those metrics. If the team is super involved, they're not going to sell their tokens as well. So look at all these new metrics that you have. Algorand's now in my buy zone, but I really have my major buy zone more at 18 cents. I've been told, guys, enough times in this last 5, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months that I'm crazy. Now people are like, fuck, you literally gave us the map to being successful in this space. Right now, we're about to come in and run in for AVAX around $10, $11. And if that doesn't hold, I mean, it could go to 9, but then we're looking at coming way back down to these levels in the $3 to $4 range. I don't think AVAX is going to go that low. There's too much money behind them. But again, This is a zone where if we go lower, it hasn't been there other than going all the way back down. This will be a flagpole, all the way back down to this level.
So what's the price for AVEX? What's the price you're looking at? Entry price?
I'm looking at around like $11. And then if it slides down the pole, we're looking at 5, 4, 3 even. I don't see it going there though. I think that people who've already sold, most of the people right now, which is what you're realizing why the market's so freaking boring and there's not really much going on. You kind of feel like, okay, like I feel the opposite as I did when I was overly worked and I was burning out in April. And then when I burned out near the end of the year, like this last year too, I feel like I'm in the same spot, but on the reversal now. Now I'm like, I just want something to do. I'm so bored. So, you know, we started our weed company in Thailand because it became legal. And we're like working with the biggest, you know, weed companies in all of the world to bring them here so that they can grow and cultivate and get all the good stuff in Thailand. Because there's like to educate the people how to do it properly. So there's no mold, etc. So I just like went into that because I was like, I'm so bored. I'm like, I might as well do something. And everything else I do is crypto. And that's something that a lot of people have been doing, to be honest. Like a lot of the crypto OGs have just been like finding new things to do because we're bored. So we have Constellation DAG. That's a zone for DAG. If it goes lower, we're looking at, you know, anywhere in the 2-cent range. DAG is good technology. Again, probably not the best marketing, but they have like the USDOD, etc. We look at DOT. It's in my buy zone, my first one. My strong buy zone for DOT though would be around $4, $3. Like around,
what do you think about Solana? Do you think it's dead?
Which one?
Solana. Do you think it's dead?
I mean, blockchains can't ever die, technically. We're in. I mean, look, it bounced perfectly off of my second buy zone, right? So we came right down in this level, and it's held. As you can see, it's held pretty much that same level. It wicked it and came back up. Will Solana stay under 10? Possibly. I mean, we have my charts values from when we were just starting to break out of Solana on the way up.
If it broke below 10, it's going down to 5?
Yeah, if it breaks down below here, I mean, there's a little bit of like a little bit at 8, but not very like our strong level would be somewhere between 3 and like 350, around 350, somewhere in that 350 range, and anywhere in between in this level right here where it broke out, it could come all the way back down to. At least here, potentially there as well, would be stronger support. Just don't see it really happening. I mean, they got wrecked as much as possible, but we never know. I mean, crypto is, I've said things I don't think they're going to happen, and they happen. Right now, Solana does not have anything looking good for it at all. Like the 21 EMA is buried. The 10 can just shot right back down. You know, we have a flagpole right here. Usually a flagpole is followed by more flagpoles. You know, when you have like these big, huge drops, they usually go sideways and drop more. It's not one that I'm personally looking to pick up. Not yet. Not till I see a little bit more carnage. This one, I've already started buying a little bit. Zone. Yeah.
They changed their name, didn't they? I don't know what the name is now.
They did to something else. I don't really care about the name. I care about what they're doing with their technology. A lot of people are looking to build, like serious companies are looking to build with them because they had like ETH 2.0 already. It's pretty much ETH 2.0 already. Great technology. It's fast. They've had hiccups with like Meyer Exchange and stuff, but I think long term they're gonna prevail and do really well. KDA hit my buy zone, which everyone told me was impossible and never would happen. Around 80 cents. So I do think we could come a little bit lower. So that might just be a little bounce, and then we come back down and finish it off. But yeah, like again, I was talking earlier about this Kijin, this red level. Every time we get pretty far away, it pulls it back up to it, and then it will go back down again. So it does that. Yeah.
Let me go back to Bitcoin for a second, because everything follows Bitcoin at the moment. Bitcoin is king, as we all know. Now, we saw that the Fed was a lot of people saw it was dovish today. I didn't. I don't know what your thoughts are. He went out, he said he's gonna reduce the rate hike. He's not. So I felt he's gonna bleed us slowly instead of ripping the Band-Aid. That's what I felt. I don't know. But the market reacted to it as if it was a dovish. How do you feel about that, and where do you think that will take us?
I don't really know. Like him saying he's gonna cut. What was the rate cut? I didn't even follow that yet. I haven't looked at that.
By 50 basis points. He's gonna do 50 basis points.
We're gonna cut it.
No, he's not gonna cut it. He's gonna increase. He's gonna add 50 basis point instead of 75 basis point.
I mean, look. People here's the problem that no one's talking about. The elephant in the room people are not realizing is people have houses, right? And they have mortgages, and those mortgages are impacted heavily by these rate hikes. And I have people that I know that were paying $4,000 mortgage. Now they're paying $7,000 already, and now they're increasing rates more. At some point, people are going to start losing their houses. That's going to be very negative. So at that pivot point, they're going to have to, as Elon's been saying, pivot, or the whole entire United States, the way everyone knows it, is going to explode and implode and turn into a cesspool of violence and murder and crazy shit. That would be the worst case scenario. And that's not tin hat. That's legit potentially what could happen. So we got to see what's actually going to happen with these rate hikes. Are they going to keep them going, or are they going to realize that they fucked up? And honestly, if this stuff does start to happen, guess where people are going to start running to? Crypto, because it's the only thing they can't have control of. Bitcoin will do massive gains, in my opinion. And if this actually happens, it'll help us as a community grow more. Because where else to put your assets? They keep printing more, or they raise the rate hikes so you can't afford to pay for everything anyways. So who's going to pay the bill? You guys, the regular people, pay the bill. We're the ones who have to suffer while the governments do whatever the fuck they want. So, and they're trying to fix the problem. This problem is not new, guys. The printing that happened last 2 years ago, whatever, the last couple of years, this is a continuation of the problem in 2008. And guess what happened right after 2008's crash? Bitcoin was created because everyone said, fuck the banks getting bailed out by governments. So you're seeing similar stuff happen. Now Bitcoin's got the test of time. Are you actually going to go up? Are you actually going to be there when everything gets fucked? I think it is. I think already it proves that. And if you don't know, you have to start looking at Bitcoin from this perspective, okay? And we're going to go on the monthly because this is a massive chart. So we look at this here, and you tell me, are we bearish on the Bitcoin at all? Like, people are trying to tell you it's going down, it'll never come back. But all I do is I see we've gone up, we've gone up, we've gone up, we've gone up. So yeah, now we're going a little lower. Whoop-de-doo. These trend lines are just trend lines. They don't really mean that much. We go on the weekly, it's easier to see. What I've been talking about for months is how long from top to bottom for bull market, bear market. First halving right here. What happened? Bull market. Got to a top 365 days later, got to the bottom in 396 days. Second halving. Here we go. All the way up to the top. Takes 518 days last cycle. All the way to the bottom. Oh, where's my... I must have deleted it by accident. But all the way to the bottom was another... Hold on a sec. It was until here. So about... what is that? How many
85
370 days, something like that. I can't say exactly because for some reason that got deleted. And then we have our top now. And right, I've been talking about this exact same chart, this exact same one. You can go on Twitter so you can confirm. I'm not bullshitting any of you. We took a little bit longer because we got to a second top, which was a double top formation, which is what I saw, McDonald's formation. It's an unhappy thing. There's a video of me going like this. Isn't McDonald's? Like, is the market coming down? And it was a picture of me wearing a McDonald's hat was when I made this video and talked about this pattern. And, you know, like, people were like, well, what's going to happen next? And I said, this is likely going to happen next. We're going to come up, run into this resistance. We're going to break back down below. We've done that. Now we're starting to come up. So I had that being around the bottom. So we're close to the bottom because this is what I've been mapping out for like months and months before. That we're likely going to come to this level, and between this level and this level before having, we're going to likely start to see some bullish relief, meaning we're not going into a bull run. It'll likely look like something like this. We'll come up a little bit. We'll go sideways. We'll come up. We'll go down. Maybe there'll be an event like this. That was COVID. We probably won't have that happen. So maybe it'll go more sideways than up, similar to what we had last bear market, where it was like it went bottomed out, went sideways, started going up, came down a little bit, and then we started the bull run. So what you're looking for is the bullishness will start right into that fourth halving. So likely around October, November of next year. So it's not going to be exciting for a while, but we might climb back into the 30s or 40s in the meantime before we go into the next our next step up, which likely will be somewhere in the $150,000 range if we're following prior cycles and we actually see all this negative shit and inflation, everyone starts feeling it and realizes I should actually have some Bitcoin, which is going to happen. I think it's already starting to happen, but more people are starting to wake up. Yeah, Bitcoin's down. Okay, cool. But all this negative shit's just going to mean that next time it's not going to go down as far, right? Because they're going to make regulations which may be good and bad, but I think they'll be more good than bad because the exit scammers, all these people have someone to talk to. They're going to have to someone's going to come.
We need some regulation. We need some sort, not on everything. Like, for example, stable coins for people to trust. We need the exchanges. I think they need to be regulated. I'd rather they leave other stuff alone, but it's going to happen whether we like it or not. So it's out of our hands. Let's not worry about it. But it'll bring big money. I believe when regulation happens, it's going to bring big money into the game. That's my thoughts, but it is what it is. Now, you said we're close to the bottom. I think the next leg down, and correct me if I'm wrong, the increased interest rate is going to hit us, whether now or later, with the inflation and everything, because we're going to bleed slow till next year, I believe, January maybe. We're going to feel it, and the stock market is going to slow down. We're going to slow down Bitcoin a little bit. Then people are going to move to Bitcoin. That's the whole plan. I'm going to share a tweet that you've done, and just tell something to the audience. This is the time to start buying and not get bored. Now, we need to focus on the market now. This is where we're really close. No one's going to get the bottom. No one's going to know. Not me, not Coach K. He's a chartist, one of the best in the industry, period. And he can't tell you this is exact point is going to be the bottom. No one knows.
You only know when it's the bottom. You want to know when you know it's the bottom? When you see that and it's officially gone above the cloud, now you go, okay, it's the bottom. Now we're in a bullish state of mind here. But until we're actually in a place like here is where we bottomed last time, technically you shouldn't have been bullish till over here, which is actually the time I actually started getting bullish. I made my first trade out of the bear market right on the retest of this level right here. That was the day I made the trade. Right as we broke out of the cloud, that was when I entered right off the top of the Kumo on the retest, because our Chiku span was bullish, we were above the cloud, and our green level was above our red level, which shows us it's kind of like EMAs the same way, whereas this is the fast EMA and this is the slower EMA, right? So if our fast EMA is above our slow one, that's bullish, very bullish. So it works in a very similar way to EMAs. I use other EMAs as well, just because I like to see where we're.
Can you stay there for a second?
Yeah,
stay there for a second. Just to let everyone know as well, like he bought like not at the bottom, but after the retest and the confirmation. He got the confirmation. I know he missed it, maybe a 10% or a 5%, whatever it is, he missed it. But that confirmation gives you peace of mind, gives you a guarantee for your trade. So don't be greedy and wanting to buy, because you'll miss it. You'll miss it. That's my advice to you.
Always miss the bottom, man. I there was one day I hit a bottom of a coin. Like, I drew it on the chart. I was like, this is the level that we're going to come to. So if I go to my if we go to our levels here, and let's say I drew a level here, right? And I was like, okay, maybe it's coming here. And I set a buy order, and I hit it like right on that fucking, like literally on the actual, like within a couple dollars. And everyone's like, you're a genius. And I was like, I'm lucky. You know, like, I don't like the praise of people who are good at trading because it like inflates your head. No, we're traders. We learned a skill. Anyone can do what I do. Anybody can do it. But are you emotionally able to manage your emotion? Like, can you manage your emotions enough that you don't get excited too much when you're making good money, or down too much when you're losing it? Do any of you guys ever have like one of these types of wordings on there? What this says is, if you're feeling scared or nervous or emotional, do the opposite of what you're thinking. I write notes like that on the bottom of my screen. Why? Because when I'm starting to feel, fuck, maybe I should sell, like shit's so bad in the industry, almost every time I've ever got to the point where I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm selling, that an impulse is always wrong. It's always wrong. Like every single time it's been wrong. And the times where I see the market, when I made my 42K short, I literally looked at the market, I was like, fuck, this is a great short opportunity. I just shorted and I went to sleep. And the next morning I woke up, I was already in profit. And that same short has been, we've closed some of it and added to it. But like, that same short is still open right now. And it's from $40,000 average now. It's like, it's not hard, but I've been holding that short since like way over here, way over here, like right around, it was on 420 when I opened it. So April 20th was like, I think we just hit like 420 or something
on the 21st, which would have been at night before I went to bed. Yeah, so we had like 42,000. So I literally opened my short on this fucking wick. No bullshit. It just turned. If we go down to the minute and the daily, because of my time where I'm in Thailand, we would have been literally on this wick. It was like 42,200. So it was like right on that wick. I went to sleep. I woke up the next day. We were already down over here. It wasn't a crazy gain, but I left it open and look at where we went. I mean, the next time I added to that short was right here in this level, like up here as we started going up. I didn't believe we're going higher and we're not going into the cloud. I felt like it was a fake out, because you'll learn over time with your strategy when the cloud slumps down in the future, because you can see the future on the cloud. If it's slouching down, usually the market's not going to go back and get bullish. It needs to kind of flatten out first. When it gets
what's
really
the indicator called? The cloud? What's the indicator called?
Ichimoku.
Okay.
Honestly, like I swear by it, but I don't need it. It just gives me earlier confirmation of what I'm already seeing. And again, everyone can just trade with candlesticks. Like you don't need any of the stuff that I have on this chart here at all. You can literally go to any chart without all these numbers and letters and things. You could find like a fresh chart and go on it. Like I can just go like BTC USD here, find an exchange I'm not trading on, like Bitfinex, for example. And now I've done it before just as examples like this one, but find levels, right? And then just draw your levels. Like, okay, when we came up to here, in general, like this level, maybe right around there would be somewhere we might run into resistance next bull cycle, right? And then where else could we run into resistance? Where could we have support? Support's right around here. Generally, when it comes to this range, it bounces and goes higher. And then it can also flip from support to resistance. So now that is becoming resistance on the way down, which is why you know it's bearish, right? Because unless you're above that level and you're now testing it, that's bearish. That's a bearish retest, so you're going to go lower. So these little things you can't learn, and what I'm saying today probably like will go way over a lot of people's heads unless they're traders. But like it's about taking the time to learn that exact pattern and understand, where do I draw support? Where do I draw resistance? How do I know? So for example, how many touches do you have? So I can look here and go, okay, this level right here, it came to many times, rejected as resistance, right? And then it broke above. Then it came down and went right down and turned into resistance again over here. Maybe I can zoom in a bit more. Hold on, just to make it easier. So let's say I'm going to draw my level here. In January 21, in February of 21, it couldn't get above that level. Then it broke out like crazy. Never even retested it at all. So you knew that it's going to come back down at some point. So it comes back down here, turns into resistance. Resistance again. Resistance yet again. Then all of a sudden we can break above. We break above it. This wick right here, you can see the little wick of that candle. Test it. Now we start to go higher, right? Then we come back down again, and look what happens. It turns into support now. It's not resistance. Every time it touches, it goes up again. Same here. Comes down here, touches, goes up again. Eventually, can't go, closes below, breaks down. Then it breaks back up. Then it breaks back down. So kind of in like
that's the key level.
We call it like a sideways movement where it's not really going up and down. Like it's going up and down, not really respecting this level until here when we start actually going back down. So this was like a part where that level may not have worked for you, but you know it's there, and then it likely would come back to that level again. And what will happen in the next bull cycle is we'll come back to that level again. This will be touched in the next bull cycle for sure. Active resistance will probably bounce and we'll break above it. Then we'll go to this level, which you can see right here, right here, right here. So somewhere in the $48,000 range we'll also have. So you can, this is how traders can map things out like this. Okay, likely come back down to here, then go up, break it in. Oh, we're going to use that support again. And we're going to break up. And we're going to use that support. And sometimes it goes higher and faster. But if you look at prior cycles, it's exactly what it's doing. It's making levels, right? Resistance, support, breaks resistance, new support, never actually even touches it. Just like straight up breaks out right out of our high from the last cycle and during that summer we had where it looked like we're going to get really bullish again. Then you have this level from over here and it just starts breaking above. So now we go up. Here's the level right there. We're actually at the same level right now. broke down, tapped the level, starts to go up, breaks down, taps the level, goes up. And that's how the market moves. And so we're likely going to see something like that again. And when we get to our level around here, we're going to get resistance. Or we'll be like last cycle where we just literally blow up right past it like we did here. I don't know if any of you guys remembered. We had this massive candle and never did it ever come back to this level, which is why people were saying it's going to come back to 20K. Even I was saying 17.5 is the actual level because there is no support. It's at where was the support at 20K? One little tap doesn't count. One tap, two taps? No way. I said 17.5. This is a level. This is a level right here. This is a strong one from the past and into the future. If we go to it, we can see it here as well, right? That 17.5, 17.6 level. There was support there. So when it comes down, we're likely to go to that level, 17s, and we did. And we've been in the 15s, and likely we'll come down to this level down here yet again at some point. So that's 13, 14 level, somewhere between right around here, 14.5, 12. 12 is a really strong level as well because it's more taps. So the more times we see a level touch, the more of an impact it has, the more it actually says to us that it's a good, strong level to put a buy order or sell order. I sell on the resistance, I buy on the support. I sell on the resistance, I buy on the support, right? If we see that the market's super bearish and we get wicked out of this trade, you lose that. That's one of the 100, right? But you have 100 trades. That's one of the 100 you might lose. But those first few trades, here you entered and you exited here. Maybe you exited more here. Then you entered over here again. And then you maybe got out a stop loss and profit. Then you entered here again and you hit your support, your resistance level. So you're making good trades and then you'll make a bad one. That's okay. That's part of the game. You don't have to win every trade. So I see what are the best 10 altcoins you should buy? What do I think of Shiba and dog coins? I know that I'm really good friends with the founder of Shiba Inu, like personally. Like I go to his house. He has a Shiba Inu at his house. It was really obvious. But like didn't really think of too much of it. And had I kept my $150 of Shiba, it was worth $100 million last cycle that I bought from the day I watched. Either way,
let me share this tweet of yours about man. Look, in bear market, stay away from meme coins. That's all I can say. I know Dogecoins have Elon Musk. If he integrates it with Twitter, it's gonna make a big impact. But in bear market, I always tell you, everyone, stay away from meme coins and shit coins in general. Sorry, mind the French. Is this Alec Mashinsky? He looks so much like.
It kind of looks like him. I just saw the picture and I'm like, there was the thought that came to mind. Like, hey, look, it's the guy trading shit coins during the bear market. But the point is during a bear market, the number one thing you should practice is patience. Like everyone's trying to make the same money they made a year ago, and it's not possible to make that kind of money. It's actually almost impossible. And you're trading against people that have far more money than you. And so these people are going to exploit you. That's exactly the best word to say. They're going to exploit you. And they're going to continue to do it. So again, we look at all these coins. Which ones have most distribution? Rune is fully distributed. They had hacks. They've had issues. But it was at one point $21. And now it's $1.27. If it gets down to this level and it's under $1, I'll likely be buying that coin because I think under $1, this will be an undervalued coin. Now, that doesn't mean that you should go and buy it because you have to do your own research. But
do your own research.
That undervalued, I shorted waves at $58 right here. And people made fun of me because I actually started shorting it at 42 and then I wicked out of that trade. And most people, when they get out of a trade because it just kept going a little bit higher, I thought it was already ridiculous that it went from like $8 to $50 for no reason almost in like the March, which was like already starting bear market. So I wicked out and then I went back in at 58. Had I kept that trade open, I kept it open for quite some time, but I closed it around here. Had I kept it open, it's like literally $58 to $2. So now it's in a buy zone. It's in a buy zone, not from just this cycle, from last cycle. Last cycle, it stuck around this level. Right now, it's in this level. If it breaks lower, even better. It's like way is likely not going anywhere.
What do you think of Matic? Man, it's not getting any of my buy zones. It's just flew so much. I want it to get back.
I made my tweets on the 11th of June, and by the 16th, it already came in my first buy zone, and it hasn't been able to go back down. And I think Matic's just got a lot of people building on it.
100%,
and
yeah.
I guess whoever sold off, and that's it. They're done.
No, I'm in profit. I bought a bunch, but I want to increase my holdings, and it's just not slowing down.
Practice patience, man. Just wait.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not.
I have
I'm not
orders that
going
are
in.
sitting on exchanges for months, like 5 months, 6 months. They're just sitting there. People are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, the only thing is their exposure of being on a CEX now, right? So now you have to think about that aspect. If you want to try and catch a bottom, the only way to do it is if you have DEX, which all of them have counterparty risk and smart contract risk, regardless of what you think. So yeah, you sign a contract that it'll buy for you, but that's not really good, because if someone hacks the contract, it can hack your capital too. So there's good and bad to DEXs. I hope that we'll continue seeing those grow in that aspect. But right now, the best way to do it is leave. I would say Binance is probably one of the safest places to put capital. That's where I would say personally. I mean, but no CEX is safe. So just be really honest about that. Technical point of view for
Algorand, H-bar, VET.
Algorand I talked about already. H-bar and VET. See, VET, I still am trying to figure out what exactly does VeChain do. Like, not what they do, but like, how are people really using them, and are they making money for their token? Is the token really even needed in their ecosystem or not? They have two tokens.
I know that they do. They're very big in supply chain. They're huge in there, and they're starting to go more into DeFi with their smart contract. They're starting lots of advertisement. I know they're approved in China. That's all I know about them. And they have VThor for their payment. They don't use the VET token. They use for money.
What is
they get.
What is the VET token used? Like, this is my thing with a lot of these products. What is the VET token used for? Like, why do they need it? Why don't you just pay me in like USDC? And this is how you should start thinking about all your projects you guys invest into. And the reason why I focus on L1s is I know they have an ecosystem because they're a country with a currency, and everyone that builds in their country has to use their fucking currency. So guess what? That makes a lot of sense. When you look at a lot of these tokens and you ask, I had a call with a project 3 weeks ago, and I asked them, okay, cool, you're doing all this stuff. You have a billionaire founder, blah, blah, great. What do I need the token for? And you know what they said to me on the call? We're still trying to figure that out. So then you don't need a fucking token. Simple as that. Just do a company. A company still works. Web 2 to Web 3 integration still works. You could still have your business be online, integrate a MetaMask Web 3 aspect to your website, and you can use crypto every single day on any website in the world just by adding in a plugin, basically. Like, it's not that hard to integrate a Web3 in anything that you do right now. And that's why I'm like, I don't really understand why a lot of these tokens exist, because they don't have a use case. Vitalik finally fucking said something about governance.
Yeah.
I absolutely despise the idea of governance in crypto, because two things happen. Number one, the biggest whales control everything that happens no matter what, so it's bullshit governance. Number two, no one actually gives a fuck to vote on anything, ever. Okay? Yeah. No one votes on anything. No one even votes for the president of the United States of America, who was everyone had something to say, but half the people in the world that could have voted, right? So thinking about that aspect, why in crypto would it matter to anyone? It only matters to the guys who want to control and understand the token. That matters so much. H-bar actually, I haven't looked at it for a while, to be honest. See how they've been doing. They've been doing poorly, but that's a terrible. Hold on. Where is H-bar traded? Has been traded.
While you're searching for it, like you're saying, mainly, what are your thoughts on Chainlink? It's the number one oracle. Everyone uses it.
Yep. My thoughts on Chainlink are that there's competition coming, and they have better technology, and that Chainlink is going to lose a lot of the market share because of those guys' tech. But that's not going to happen for a while, and they'll likely have a very strong rebound into the next cycle because so many people use it. So I'm more bullish on things like super oracles or working with Temasek on the daily, and they're basically way faster, way more efficient. They're a vertical build, meaning they can add things in without having to change everything. And you know, Josh and the team are incredibly smart people on their team, like beyond normal. And like they have so many announcements that are coming. They told me like, and it's all like legit, like straight up real company, not FTX style, right? Like a real company speeding up blockchains, making things more efficient, not having what happened with Binance in May last year or 2 years ago now, where, you know, pricing stopped working on every oracle at the same time. So someone to fix that and make it just a lot better and more efficient. And their technology is fast. Like one of their I don't know what's a super node. They have a node system. One of the super nodes was running for testing, and they're already doing finality on ETH in like 2 to 3 seconds. And that's only 1 of 5. So that's pretty interesting stuff there too. Like I really do like, I like where they're going with those guys, but I think Chainlink, because of first mover advantage, it's like ETH, right? They're going to be around.
Yeah, I think at least it has another bull run easily. They're going to do it.
They're not going to be replaced. They're just going to have people that are going to compete and people that do it better. I know Band Protocol just finally launched their like full on their Oracle solution as well. So
and some smart contracts are building without oracles. They're doing the oracles. I know ICB. I don't like them that much, but they're building like they don't need it. They're doing it themselves, sort of thing. So yeah,
it's true. So looking at HBAR, it's actually, if I was just going to, it's a fresh chart for me, so I can just draw this up. So first thing I'd be looking at is like, where is our major levels of support? So here's our major level of support. So we got around 2 cents. So it could drop to there. But let's also look at an SR level, which is like a level that before was support, turned to resistance on the way up. So we kind of have it there, touched many times in the past. And we're kind of in that same zone. Maybe this could come down a little bit more, but it's likely that we're in that same level. And then we have to look in between those two. Where is a lot of levels that touch? So let me just do this really quickly. So we're going to come here and we're going to look at, okay, so where along this spectrum have there been on the way up and on the way down? Somewhere around this level, I would assume. We've been using it as support. Bring it down just a little bit more. So you can see it's been a pretty strong zone. It goes up, it comes down, it uses support, it uses resistance, uses support. Resistance is back and forth a lot. So we would say somewhere in this zone already that it's in would be your first buy zone. And your second buy zone is going to be coming down somewhere down potentially into 3.3. And then my third buy zone would be down at the bottom of this chart here at 2.8. So anywhere in those ranges, I would be looking to buy. Like this would be buy 1, buy number 2, buy number 3, and then we're dollar costing in.
Dollar cost average, yeah.
Yeah, and like we also can look at how far from the top would that be. So we're looking already, we're at like a 90% drop. If we get down to that 95% level, which is right around here, that's like generally like the sweet spot. You can hit a 95% push down, especially when it's a good project and has good tech and has partners and has people using it. That's very positive. Same as you can see here with Theta token.
Theta network, yeah.
The Theta hit 95% loss from the top, right? And again, they're still very bearish. So my zone was always here. I always thought we'd go back in under $1, and we're already under $1. I think we'll go very likely to this zone right here, somewhere in the 50-60 cent range, and that'll be a really good buy because again, we have Samsung, we have lots of legit companies using their technology, and they've been in the bear market for longer than every other crypto project in the whole entire market. So that's another thing to keep note of. They didn't ever come back from that April dump. The April-May dump never came back. And then someone's asking about Arbitrum. Sui, good technology. Aptos, less good technology. We don't really know where they're going. But here's the thing. If you're buying into a project, again, that has a lot of token distributions, that has team token distributions, that has VC token distributions from large VCs.
Solana 2.1. 2.2.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. What you have to understand as a retail trader or retail investor that most people don't understand is this. If you are a retail investor, you do not think the same as a VC fund. A VC fund, you give money to. Their job is to make money for you. Guess what they're doing to tokens when they get the tokens? They're generally selling a lot of them, right? And that's why you see these dumps every time there's distributions, because Retail guys get a little bit of tokens, they dump from public. The guys who have, smaller VCs, mid VCs, they generally dump the worst. Then you have the big VCs who have like a 500K paycheck. And when we do a 30X, it turns into $15 million. So now they're taking their 500K back, and then they're taking profit every single time they get distributions. So the more you think about it from that perspective, you can understand why I'm a big fan of fast token distributions. Let people dump, get it out of their system, stop the downfall of the token, and then build utility and show them this is why they want to have the token, and get new people to come in and actually see the value in it. This is what the industry is lacking majorly. And all they've done is turn these 4-year vesting cycles. It's just like investing into a company. You're almost better off because the exit company can't exit scam you. They can go bankrupt and you lose your money, but you know that from the start, versus going and you put 50K into something, they never actually build it, and they just never do anything. And then one day they give you a message saying, sorry guys, we ran out of our funds. We're sorry, we made a mistake. We couldn't do it, blah, blah. We've seen this happen every cycle. We're seeing it start to happen right now.
Right.
So Aptos, Sui, what was the other one? He said Aptos, you said Sui,
and Arbitrum.
Arbitrum, again, more airdrops, more stuff like that is going to continue to come. I think Arbitrum, like Matic, like BNB, anything that's a layer 1, layer 2, those are really good ecosystems. But again, why did I talk about how much token distribution is there? Because that is a play that if you don't think about, you get wrecked and you don't even know why. You're like, what? This is such a good project. Why does it keep going down? So that comes down to, as a bottom line, what are the buy best alts for the next bull run? Depends on your perspective. If you're trying to go, I want to put $1 million into an alt, all your layer ones, anything with $100 million, $200 million, $500 million market cap minimum, if you're putting $1 million in, because you want to see that grow. If you have small money, you have $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, then you want to go into something a little bit more risky, potentially. Some of that's going to go into risk because you want to make it, right? You're not going to chuck it in Bitcoin to a 5x, 10x. Maybe that's good. But on 5K, that's not really going to make you the millions that people in crypto tell you about. The way you make good gains in crypto is getting in early when the market's down, when everyone's telling you it's horrible. Last time, this exact moment in the cycle, I invested in Frax $80,000. If you go to Frax right now, I paid 18 cents, okay? So here's Frax. Hold on. Frax is backed by former Trump advisors and stuff, like legit project, and there's no data. All right. That's wonderful. Frax. Oh my God, there's so many. They stopped doing this on TradingView. Okay. Might not have enough history. There's no history on any of these things. Let me go into Dex Tools. 1 second, guys. Frax. So I'll show you what you can do if you think ahead of time. Ether,
is that the second one? Frax?
This one. There's so many. This is the one I think is the oldest one. They changed pools, I think, so it's hard to tell which one is the right one. That's not the right one. You got to go by. So one thing with CXs that are pain in the ass, you have to see when were they. This was SDS. It's a year ago.
There's USDT. Did I see USDT there? No.
Frax
USDC.
Here, there we go. All right, so I think this is one of the ones with the oldest history. No, this is FXS, sorry. Because Frax is a stable coin, an algorithmic one. I know most people don't like that, but this is one of the legit ones in the space. They've done extremely well. Yep. So we can go here and we can see, I invested at this during the bear market, this exact time at 18 cents. Guys, this is now the price. Right now. $5, and it's at like the bottom of the bear market. Look at it. It was $45, $50 for a while, and like this is a project that never really had a super bearish movement. I don't know what this is. Probably some market issues with Dex Tools or something. But this price action, it looks bad, but like everyone invested early is doing great.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And if you're looking at investing in to make. If you paid 18 cents and it hits $40 and you sell, do the math, guys. Over 100x, and that's fully distributed. All your tokens you're doing at 100x. Put 5K in, you make 500K. So that's why I'm saying you might want to go and chuck a lot of capital if you have a lot of capital into stuff. But then I would vary it in terms of ETH. If you say ETH's an alt, that would be one. And then when it comes down to the top guys, no one's going to know exactly the top. But I'm very big fan of Near Protocol.
Near Protocol, yeah.
They have a really, really good technology. The way that they have people thinking and building in that space. When I went to NearCon, really opened my eyes to what they're doing. They came into my zone almost and bottomed out already, but I think they might even go lower. This is one that I think can definitely do like a 15 to 20x in the next cycle, probably break all-time highs of $20 and go to $35, $40. They have so many people building on their platform. It's easy to use. A lot of the stuff,
and it has a huge backing.
So much backing, great UXs on a lot of the sites. When you see people like showing you their NFT platforms, are just really sleek and easy. You feel like you're using a Web 2 platform, but it's Web 3. They have a web-based wallet, so you don't really like need to remember everything all the time. You just log into your wallet and it's there. So that's a really good tech. Hathor, I'm not too sure. We're going to watch that one for a while. I think it's definitely at a point where now it's underneath its public sale price. It's fully distributed and it's been around for a while. I'm going to keep my eyes on Hathor Network. Phantom, I think it's definitely not one I'm going to be grabbing at least until it goes much lower. But
now
KDA,
Andre Cronje is back.
Yeah, for now, until he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore. But like, here's a great example of something that could do you really. So if you're buying things like this, you're looking at a 28x just to hit all-time high. So if you went into KDA and it does another run, which it likely will because they have a lot of people building on it, you could see KDA doing at least like a $55, $60 range and doing a 60x on a major blockchain. And here's a difference. You go into a shit coin, you put $1,000 in, great. But you go into something like that, you could put in $1 million and do 60x and have $60 million of liquidity, pull it all off. Can't do that with any altcoin. And we see this exact same thing right here. We go on Dex Tools. When you look at liquidity, 2.29 million. What that means is you cannot sell more than $2 million, and you would have to pretty much sell the whole supply worth that's on there right now. So you can't do that. So it doesn't really help. A little bit of alpha for you guys. Bone. Okay, so I know for a fact that most of the creators of Shiba are in Bone. So they actually all of the Shiba Inu founding team, the people that founded it, none of them have any Shiba at all. They all hold Bone and they hold Leash. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying to buy it or not, but it's just something to know. This is another one I invested into long ago, and it's been doing a crazy move lately, probably because there's a low liquidity level. But these guys are partnered with Ledger and doing a credit card with Ledger. So you'll be able to spend money.
Yeah, I saw that.
I've known about this from way, way longer ago. And obviously they didn't really care about price and they don't have a ton of liquidity. So it can be pushed up very easily. But more on the aspect of they're building something real. And, bank card, Ledger, they're going to have some type of lending platform. I don't know. Maybe they'll rethink that though. I haven't talked to them since the whole, meltdown in crypto. So really it's a loaded question when someone says, "Hey coach, give me your 5," because I don't really know exactly which 5 because I'm going to diversify a lot better. I think it's really important to diversify. So Stacks, I actually really like this project. Let me find a better
We're gonna round it up, guys. So last couple of questions.
Yeah, it's pretty undervalued. Still needs to go a little bit lower. It came down to these former levels down here. So, but it likely will come if we get another dip. I would be buying it 14 cents, 14.5, 14.8, 15, something like that. That would be your range to be buying right in this level here.
Right
there.
Coach, it was absolute pleasure having you.
Yes, sir.
Final words for the community.
Yeah, I would say that right now is the time for you guys to spend some time learning what these blockchains do. Understand what you invest into so you don't get scared or nervous. You feel confident in your investments. You don't look at them every day. Things, the number one thing that most people make mistake of is traders don't watch charts every day. I look at them, I see that they're doing what I'm doing, I'm waiting for whatever I'm waiting for, and that's it. So start practicing a patient mindset. Take time. You don't need to get rich quick. Here's one thing I tell a lot of people that are in my community. I tell them, get rich slowly or go broke quick. And the reason why I tell them that is because if you try to make money fast and you focus on money too much in business or in trading, you usually do make a lot of mistakes, get emotional. So get rich slowly, have a longer term plan, know that you're going to get there. And remember, crypto is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. It does not close. We don't have an 8-hour a day type of open bell to close bell. So things progress 3 times as fast to 4 times as fast in crypto than they do in the real world with stocks and Forex, etc. So knowing those things, use them to your advantage if you know that you can be patient and in 3 years you could be a multimillionaire. That's what I told my whole community, and I made 120, 130 almost. Now it's probably 100 because some of them lost money because they didn't listen, but I made many people millionaires because of that. And I do it not for money. I don't make money from them becoming millionaires. I do it because I want them to be free to do what they love. You know, like no one wants to do shit they hate. A lot of people work at jobs they don't like and they don't know what they're supposed to do. You just quit. I quit a job that was good to go through a bear market as a former teacher and struggle, but that helped me gain so much more in life. So if you're looking to get in the crypto space, do it now. Don't wait till the bull market because it's really hard. And show what value you can add to other people as well, because this space is all about creating and adding value to everybody. And the more you do it, the more opportunities you're going to have. And as a trader, I mean, just unemotional trading, have a plan, trade your plan. Don't go outside of your plan. And if you feel scared, emotional, nervous, you probably should be buying. And if you feel way too excited, way too happy, telling your mom, your girlfriend, everyone how much gains you've had, that's likely the time you should be making a lot of your taking profits, because generally those two things are very coinciding with the opposite thing happening. So I would take all that, make those little notes on the bottom of your computer if you're a trader. You know, when I'm feeling nervous, scared, and you look at that and you remind yourself when you're emotional not to be emotional and actually do the opposite. And that note has made me a lot of money, much more than you realize, guys. Much more than you realize. Because there's times I look at the market too, and even me, I'm like, holy fuck, you know? But then it was, I'll give you the best example to leave you off. The best example of what happened was I looked at that note last bear market when we hit that bottom, when it was going super fast down as we came down to the bottom at like 3,300. I watched that live and I told myself I have to buy. And that was when I bought. I bought right then. I was like, I should buy. I was so scared. I was like, look at the note. I'm going to buy here. And I bought some Bitcoin. So look at that as a way to actually manage your emotions too, because knowing yourself and your emotions will make you more money than you realize. That's for sure. So yeah, thanks for having me again as well.
No, thank you, Coach. Coach, I see on your Twitter, facilitator of 130 millionaires, advisor. What if people want to find you, or what do you do any like courses or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually have courses. They're a part of my community. So we have, I think there's like 30 spots left. I did like an NFT to prove that NFTs can have value, and I made it part of, like, you have to have the NFT in your wallet, integrate your wallet so that you can connect to Web3, and that opens the website for you and it gives you access to my courses. We also do like, well, not now, but when the markets get better and we see opportunities to invest in NFT projects that might be for nodes or whatever, we have our own system we created so people can just kind of go and make a cart. And then also with our investment side, we invest as a community. So people that are in our community get to invest with us if they want to, and they're not forced to do anything. Like, it's just, don't be an asshole. And we have good people. So unlike most communities on Telegram, there's not the same type of toxicity, I would say. And I'm very much known for the purge. So if people are dicks, I get them out of the community and tell them to go sell their NFT. So yeah, you can find that at coachk.vip. I also do my own crypto conference, which is mainly for the OGs in the space. It's pretty entertaining. You can find that, a little bit of information in the video, coach at the coachkexperience.com. So you can see what we do and what we're about.
Maybe I can talk to you offline at some stage, do something like what you're doing with your community, because my community is different language, different area.
You do the exact same thing. I've been helping projects do this with their project. I'm like, guys, it's not that hard. Like, if I could do it with $5,000, you guys should be able to do this. You're a fucking company. You raised $7 million. You can't fucking make a website, integrate Web3. This stuff blows my mind. There's nothing else that blows my mind more in this space than people who say they've been CEOs. They have not. Really important thing. We could talk another type with the investment and what you should be doing. And I'm actually in talks right now with Bangkok Coconuts, which is a large group here, to potentially do a crypto Shark Tank style show. To kind of educate the community on how do I make my investments, and then bring on other people, Kyle, Chase, bring on some good projects. You might be talking to Layla Halperin, a bunch of cool people in the space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do a lot of things at once, and that's why I don't trade full time, because I don't need to. I find I'm much more profitable on a longer term mindset, 10 trades a month 100%. Max, and 150 trades a month, and it's just stressful. I don't want to watch the charts all day.
I'll share your links, Coach. It was absolute pleasure, and hopefully we'll stay in touch, and we'll talk soon.
100%, man.
Thank you for everything.
Much love, brother. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.